Many WPF developers use button click event for everything. At first, it looked easy, but very soon the code behind the file becomes very large. Then one big problem appears. When the logic changes, the button does not enable or disable automatically. And testing button click logic becomes very difficult. So the big question is there a better way to handle button action in WPF? Hello everyone, I am Harsh, and in this video we are going to learn command in WPF using a simple and practical example. I will show you what a command is, how it works, why using command is better than using click events, and how a button automatically enables or disables when conditions change. In WPF, a command is middle layer between the UI and your logic. The button does not directly call a method. Instead of directly calling a method from button click, the button triggers a command. The command decides what code should run, whether the button should be enabled or disabled. Because of this, the UI becomes very clean and all logic stays in one place. Now let's write the command code. Now let's create the command class. I will right click on the project and I will click on add and then class. And here I will give the name relay command. I will make this class public, and to create the command we have to implement iCommand interface. Let's implement it. Implement interface. When we implement the iCommand interface, then we will get event handler and two methods. One is can execute, which will tell if the command can execute or not, and the execute method will execute the command. Here I will use two delegate, one is action and one is function delegate, so that we can pass the delegate from the command. If you want to learn more about delegate, you can watch this video. I have explained here with example all the delegates, so you can watch and understand what is function and what is action delegate from here. And if you want to learn event, then you can watch this video. I have explained in detail here. Now let's add the delegates. I will create two delegates, read only action delegate, and I will say this action delegate execute, and another delegate is func delegate, and here the return type will be boolean. This I will say can execute. Now let's create the constructor, and here I will pass both the delegate. I will change the name here, and here I will assign the both delegate can execute equal to can execute, and then underscore execute equal to execute. Now whenever we will create the command, we can pass the delegate from that command. For now I am not creating any parameterized delegate. So now what we will do in can execute method, we will call the can execute delegate, and this will return a boolean. So I will return this, and here I will call execute. Now our command is implemented. Now how to use this command? In the main window .xml.cs file, we'll create one command here. Here I will say public iCommand, or we can also say relay command, and then register command, because here I want to, in the UI I want to create the command for this register button, so I will give the name register command. Now let's create the object of this command. I will say new relay command, and then here we have to pass two delegates, func and action. So let's pass. I will say can register and then register. Now I will create the method, generate method. For this also I will create one method. Now how to bind this command? Here I will first return false, and let's see. I will add the breakpoint here, and here I will bind the command. How to bind it? You can go to the button, and I will remove this click event, and here I will say command equal to binding and then register command. As our data context is set to user, so we will not able to access this register command because this is defined in the main window class, right? To access this register command, here we have to set relative source. So how to set it? Relative source, and then relative source, and here I will set ancestor type. Here I will set metro window, which is may, and then metro. I will copy it from here, and now let's run it. If you see, can register method is executed, and it will return the false, and the button will be disabled. You can see we will not able to click here. our command binding is working. Now let's add the logic in the register method. So now we no need this register event. I will just move this to register method and I will remove this. And if you observe here, last time when I binded this gender with string, then here we no need any condition to check if it is checked or not. Earlier we had two conditions to check if male is checked or not, if female is checked or not. As we used the string to bind the gender radio button, so we no need to use this if and else condition. Let's remove this. Now I will return true for now. If we return true, then it will enable our button. Now let's run and see. Let's continue it. Now our register button is enabled. Now let's fill the text box. Select the country, select a skill, set the experience level, check agreement and click on register and then click on continue. You can see the value what we got earlier from the click event. So this is how we can bind the command and use the command. So now what I want to add here, I want if this is checked then only enable the button. Now let's run and see, continue. Now you can see this button is not enabled. Now let's click on it. So it should enable but it is not enabling. So here we have to notify the UI that this value is changed. To do that, what we have to do, first we have to add one method here. I will say public void raise can execute method and from here I will call this can execute change, invoke and will keep a default value here. Whenever our value is changed, in our case we have this is term accepted. So whenever this value change, then we want to notify the UI that value is changed. So execute the can register method. So how to do that? For that, here we have to register the property change event with, I will say raise can execute change here, or you can give any name. I will simply say raise can execute and let's create the method, and from here we have to call register dot raise can execute. So when this method will call, it will trigger this can register method. Let's run it. I will add the breakpoint here. Let's continue. Let's check it. You can see this method is called and then can register method is called, and now you can see our register button is enabled. So this is how we can automatically enable and disable our button based on the value change. Now if you observe here, I have not used any parameter here. To use the parameter means if we want to pass the parameter from the command, like here we can set the command parameter and here I will say clicked. So this clicked I want to access in our command. So how to do that? To do that, we have to change the action. Here we have to pass one argument and here also we have to pass one argument. So in the same way we have to update this, and here also I will pass this, and while calling this we have to pass this parameter like this. Now how to call it? So here also we have to change this method signature. I will pass the parameter here. Now this I want to show. So what I will do here, I will say command parameter, then I will use the parameter dot to string to show the value of the parameter passed from the command parameter. Now let's run and see. I will remove the breakpoint from every place. Let's continue. I will check this checkbox and click on register. You can see command parameter clicked, what we have set in command parameter. Why the command is important? Here if you use the command, then UI reacts automatically to the logic change. No manual is enabled handling in XML. Command logic is easy to unit test. Test register logic without opening the UI. Test enable or disable rules easily. Same command can be reused in multiple places. Keep UI and logic clean and separate. This is why professional WPF application avoid button click events. I hope you learn what is command in WPF, how a button executes logic using a command, how button enable and disable works automatically, and why this approach is great for clean code and unit testing. That's all for this video. If you found this video helpful, let's share with your friends.